Good morning, good Thursday morning. What time is it? I love the old 3 hairs past a freckle. It's 3 hairs past a freckle. It is 6:41. Well, it's a little later than I thought. Good morning. I woke up tired, but I slept all night. So I'm gonna have some coffee in my Anita. Well, I woke up with a thought. Let me know what you think of this. I weigh in on Fridays. Today is Thursday. I looked up meetings and there's a 9 o'clock meeting, which means it's right after I take Oliver to Vacation Bible School. Sit up, Anita. I want to get on the scale and see if I have had any change since last week, where I remained the same after doing almost 2 full weeks of the -10 collaboration. I don't think one day is going to make a difference if I go today instead of tomorrow. And I want to know. It's like, I want to know. So that's my plan for now. I need to wake up. I need some puppy uppers. Remember that on Saturday Night Live? Puppy uppers and doggy downers. What is, as far as vanity and remembering what other people think of you, what's the farthest back, let's see, Anita, let's use some proper grammar. How far can you go back in your memories and distinctly remember something that had to do with that? With somebody admiring something you were wearing or made a comment on how you look? Can you even go back? Is there one specific one? I'm gonna get a little deep here for a second. Let's see, how can I say this? We traveled a lot with my dad's work, which I've mentioned before. And when I was 7, we went to Hawaii on a show called The Hawaiians. It was the sequel, I think. I don't think it was the prequel, but it was the next movie after Hawaii by James Michener. My dad was a camera operator and we lived in Hawaii for a few months. I went to school there. It was just wonderful for the most part. It was before everybody bought land and built it up. We lived in we lived on Kauai and we lived on Maui. And both places that we lived literally across the street from the beach. Because when you're working for the studios, they plop you in some pretty nice digs. I don't know, I'm gonna take it a really long way to tell you guys a story, but I have nothing else to do, and so by goodness, I'm gonna do it. So, my father, one of the gentlemen that he worked with was Hawaiian. He was from Hawaii. He wasn't from California, transferred over there for the show. And I don't know the details, and I never asked my mother and my father for the details since, for obvious reasons that I'm gonna tell you. I guess the family met up with my mom and dad, and I guess the wife of this gentleman offered to have me come live with them on Oahu. Again, I'm 7 years old, and my parents didn't know these people until we went to Hawaii, so they'd known them for, what, maybe a month or something. And said, you know, why don't you have a little girl come live with us and she can see what it's like to live in a real Hawaiian home. And because, you know, they were generational Hawaiians. They lived over by the Polynesian Cultural Center. Their whole lives revolved around all of that great stuff. So my mom said, oh, what a fabulous idea. Let's take our 7-year-old daughter and send her to somebody's house that we don't really even know, and she can learn to be Hawaiian. Okay, so I remember the house was really small. It was really a small house. I grew up in a large house. Oh, there goes my battery. Hold the line, please. Go get some coffee. Do you have your water? If you don't have your water, go get it. I'm going to change the battery and try to remember where I am in my story. Hang on. Let me pop in here and saying this story is coming from my train of thought is when weight became a problem for you in your life, or, you know, that's my question, and that's what this is about, because I was a skinny little girl. So anyways, so I went to this house and I remember it being really small, and It was the mother and the father who lived there. They had a daughter who was a teenager. They had a son who I think was like 16, 17. And then they had a little boy who I think was maybe a year younger than me. And again, I'm alone. You know, I'm not with any of my family. My sisters didn't come with me. Funny thing, my mom would send me places by myself all the time. Through my videos, you'll hear me tell stories about other places she sent me by myself. So the house was really small, and it was in a lot of the, you know, the agriculture outside. You know, you had all your Hawaiian. It was just in Hawaii and very Hawaiian, and okay, you know, to a 7-year-old, it wasn't like I was in college and going to look for a new experience in life. You know, it's like, in retrospect, I have so many questions, but I'm never going to bring it up. So I'm getting to the point that, and this is a serious thing on my part. So, the lady, there is, again, small house. Now, I remember somebody slept on the couch. The girl had her own room, okay? The boys had a room that they shared. Now, for whatever reason, the mother of this family put me in the boys' room to sleep. She didn't put me in the girls' room to sleep. I was there for a week. I'm just going to leave it at that. The 17-year-old boy took advantage of me while I was there. Now, this is 100 years ago. I'm past it. I still think about it, and I still get upset, but I'm not going to get upset right now. And as best as I can remember, I went to the mother in the morning, because I didn't realize what was happening. I just knew that, you know, this is kind of odd. This shouldn't be going on. And I would go to the mother and say, yeah, I don't even remember his name. I don't want to sleep in there anymore. I'm not getting good sleep in there. And so after, I think, like the third night, because I remember nothing being done about it right away, she put me in Renee's room, in the daughter's room. Oh, well, the boy just came in there. And yeah, it was just like, in retrospect, everybody in the house kind of knew what was going on, but I guess they just didn't address it. So I went back to my family, who at the time they were on Maui, and I must have said something to my folks, but I don't remember saying it. I remember the rest, you know, the trip being, you know, the time that we lived there as being a good time, being able to go to school barefoot, you know, eating mango at nutrition, just all sorts of great stuff. Luau's held by Charlton Heston, the gal who played the main, do I have acne medicine on my face? I do, I'm sorry. Her name was Tina Chin, and she was lovely, and she stayed near us, and we'd go hang out with her. It was a good experience. I got the chicken pox while I was there. I remember being left home alone with a teeny tiny television while they all went off to a party, because, you know, those movie folks, they like to have parties. So I'm taking a really long way to say that after that was when I became a fat person. And after that is when I became a person who was a people pleaser. I would love sometime to meet up with I've been to therapists and stuff, but to talk to somebody as an adult to find out what makes us do things that we do. Why did that turn me into a people pleaser? Why did I get fat after that? Because that's when I got fat. I was 7 when that happened, and after that, looking at pictures, is when I slowly started puffing up. And I remember sitting in school in the 5th grade, and I remember I was at a table, and I remember I was in this weird class, and we had a round table, and I was the fattest one in the class. And I remember asking the kids at the table, and these are all kids, you know how we go to school, we go through school with the same children, same neighborhood, even though we lived in different places for movies, we still had our main house in Burbank, California, where we always returned to, same kids, same school. And I remember saying, how come you guys don't like me? Oh, why doesn't Paul like me? Dana, why don't you like me? What can I do to make you like me? I mean, that was my whole persona. And I remember them raising their hand and saying, Mrs. Castleman, can you move Anita? Because she's just bugging us. Because I was just always bugging everybody, asking them why they didn't like me. At the same particular time, I had a shirt that had astrological signs all over it. The things you remember, right? And I remember somebody, I don't remember who it was, saying, "Hey, I like your shirt." And I was like, "You do? Thank you." And all they said was, "Hey, I like your shirt." I wore that shirt for probably 3 weeks straight after that, because I figured if one person liked that shirt, everybody was gonna like that shirt. And if they liked that shirt, by gosh, they were gonna like me. Well, it didn't turn out that well. But I genetically don't come from a heavyset family. My sisters are thin. I'm normally thin, except after I got fat and got old, that kind of changed. But my question is was weight always an issue for you? Also, I've never been an overeater. You guys probably gotten to know me well enough by now that food is not a huge, big wa-la-la for me. So I'm not an overeater. I've never binged on anything unless it was a planned binge. I've never hid in a closet or anything like that. I became overweight after I was abused. And I'm wondering if it had been addressed, if that wouldn't have been the case. I come to find out later, I was about 21, I found out my parents did know what happened. I must have come back to Maui and in 6-year-old, 7-year-old speak, I mean, I couldn't use the correct terms because I didn't even know what was going on, told them that something had happened. My parents knew. My mother told me when I was 21, we got in this big fight. And it came out as things do. Life is good. And she, she told me, yeah, we knew what happened. That's just a little follow-up in case anybody's following the bouncing ball. So I'm curious, in the comments below, can you tell me, just, briefly or in your own words, if you come from a heavy-set family, if something, am I making myself clear? Because I can't seem to explain it right now. I didn't have to be heavy my whole life. I kind of chose to be heavy my whole life. And I think I was heavy in the sense that I was hoping nobody would want to touch me. But at the same time, I didn't have any friends. And I was just like the neediest person on the face of the earth. I was like that for 50 years on earth. And I haven't been like that since I've been with Steve. Because I finally just figured that I didn't give a big crapola in the sky, because I don't have that much time left. TikTok, 40 years if I'm lucky, and I just have to enjoy the rest of my life as me and who I am. And if you like me, you like me, and if you don't, you don't. And this all started from this coffee mug. Look at Anita bringing it around. Because the lady who made me this coffee mug, I loved her more than anything. I thought she was one of my best friends ever. Actually, she was one of my best friends ever. She's a delightful lady, but for some reason, she decided to end our friendship. Now, there was a time when I would have been completely devastated over that. And when it happened, I probably was a little, but not anymore. So, how's that for a cheerful morning conversation? It's life. Things happen in life. You know what? We can't, I hold no, it just happened. It just happened. So, I am going to go weigh in today. I don't know what any of this has to do with anything, but I have my camera and I'm going to talk. I've been a little, I've been fighting a little bit of the blues that I'm not sure what they're caused by. It's not what I just spoke of, though. I just feel like, I don't know, if I had like a couple $100 and I could get my car and go on a road trip by myself, I would. I don't know. So what time is it now? How long have I been talking? It's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna just sit here and drink some coffee. Maybe I will turn on the news after all. Take Shorty to VBS. And I'm going to go over to Weight Watchers and weigh in, see what happens. Let's throw a little wrench into the works today. Let's hope that that it's down. Oh boy, would I like it if the scale went down. And as for the rest of the day, I don't know what's gonna happen, but leave in the comments below for me. I'm curious. And what causes your weight issue? Eating, drinking, genetics, trauma, lack of moving. So let me know. Thanks, you guys. Sometimes I just need to talk. Just need to talk. I'm back, and I'm not going to make you wait, but I hope that you will hang in there with me after you see my results and hear what I have to say. Let's see if I'm not on my camera. Let's see if we could do this. Let's do the hand. Okay, hang on. Hang on. I'm not doing it right. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, let's hold this right here like that. Can you see it? My friends, this is the biggest gain I think I've ever had. I gained 3.6 pounds. I am now at 45 pounds. How do I feel about this? I have a few feelings on this. I'm bummed out, of course, but I'm not going to let it get me down. I have never ever thought about quitting Weight Watchers, and I'm not going to quit now. Excuse my talking, because yeah, I'm bummed out. But this is what I have to say about that. For anybody who's new, first of all, welcome. I'm usually a much cheerier person than I am in this video, but you know, we're all allowed a day here and there, don't you think? I have not been a fan of freestyle since it started. When it came out, I jumped in with both feet, and I was happy because I trust Weight Watchers with my life. Disney and Weight Watchers are two of my favorite things. And I did freestyle, and it just wasn't working for me. I wasn't seeing anything happen on the scale. I am not an overeater, so I wasn't overeating the foods. The foods that I do overeat on freestyle is chicken. I love chicken, and I can eat a lot of chicken. Eggs, I just have recently been eating eggs because with the guacamole, I love them that way. Excuse me. But on a whole, eggs are not one of my favorite foods, so I will not overeat them. I don't overeat yogurt. When I have the yogurt, I'll have some with pineapple, but just once a day. And that's that. So I got off of freestyle. I went back to counting all my smart points, and that's just what I have to go back doing, because that's what works for me. We all have to do what works for us. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing my stuff down again. I put everything in my app. Put everything in. It's so funny. I'm so crazed about tracking. I am so dedicated to my tracking that I will not take a bite of my food until it's in my tracker. Excuse me, so rude and annoying, isn't that? So you know what you do? Because you always have your water next to you. You take a drink and you swallow the frog. Also, this week I have gone out to the pool, I think 3 times in the evening with somebody else who lives in the complex. And I took a cocktail with me each time. I know that when I drink, I gain weight. I know it. It's just a fact. But I did it anyways because I thought with the -10 collab, maybe it would even out. If anything, staying the same, I could have dealt with. But never in a million freaking years did I think I would gain 3.6 pounds. Am I surprised? I am surprised because of the -10 collab. I wasn't starving, you guys. I ate a lot of fruit. I'm so sorry. I ate veggies, and veggies. At no time was I feeling hungry, not satisfied. I was good. Again, because I'm not a big eater. It's, you know, I got to do it to keep living.
and I'm fat and whatever. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is I cannot drink alcohol if I want to lose weight, and I have to do regular smart points. I can't do freestyle. I'm gonna have to count my eggs and stuff, and that's just me. I'm gonna write it all down again, keep track, and we'll see how we do next week. I am also, one more thing, because this is like the most transparent video I've ever had. And I'm not looking for sympathy or attention. I'm just being honest and trying to talk out why I'm up so high this week. I'm lonely. And it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous because I love being alone. Like while Oliver's at VBS, I love my alone time. I love it because I get to do this, and I get to talk to my other YouTube friends. You know, we chat behind the scenes, and they always cheer me up. Like just now I was talking with Kate, and I love them all so much. And I don't know, I'm going through something. Remember that I Love Lucy episode where the friends of the friendless. Oh, Lucy was lonely and she went and she started a club for the friends of the friendless. I think she was sitting on a park bench with a sign. Maybe I need to start a club for the friends of the friendless. Anyways, that's this week. I need to get out of this funk. I need to clear my head. I need to get my happy ass happy. Because I'm either not happy or I am happy. There's no middle ground for me. And believe me, everybody in my life wishes there were. Especially me. Because I like to be happy. So that is the wrap up of this week. I'm going to shake it off. And move along. And do what I know works for me. Do I regret doing all this freestyle stuff? Not for a second. I had a blast. And I would do it again. If it meant that I was having that much fun and so involved with my friends, absolutely. So, no alcohol, Anita, and tomorrow's Friday, so, yeah, it's all good. Thanks for hanging out with me. If anybody made it this far, you get a thumbs up. I don't really have much else of anything to give you. So, good luck, guys. Good luck. Never quit. Don't ever quit. If anybody has a gain like this, so many times I hear, oh, I had a huge gain, I'm just going to quit. Why? Why? Life is not perfect. Everything is not perfect. And most of the time we can control why we have the gains. So I am going to shut my mouth now and do some laundry. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me, and I hope this whole video didn't like bring anybody down. If it did, go find one of my funnier videos and bring it back up. See you later.